he is still throughout the day opposite sex attracted as a general category. And that's not a sin that he needs to repent from, simply being opposite sex attracted to females who are not his wife. Flip it around. Let's just flip the analogy around that Chris uses. I think it's really helpful. See here, even the categories I'm going to use, I'm trying to define the categories, but I have to use them in order to, paint the picture here. So you have a man who is not attracted to women. He's attracted to men. And so now in this scenario, it is a man who is a very attractive man who doesn't have a lot of clothes on or whatever. He's in his board shorts. He's coming from the beach. And this Christian man who is attracted to men notices this man. Same scenario. He is same-sex attracted. That doesn't mean he is actively sexually desiring this man. It just means that I notice this man is good looking. He needs to say no to lust, say no to sexual sin, sexual desires that are actively wanting to have sex with somebody who he's not biblically warranted to actively want to have sex with. That is different though. Like, okay, why would this man who is attracted to the same sex, like, why would this man be a temptation to him? Because that is he has a if he is going to experience a temptation on the sexual level, it is going to be toward the same sex, not the opposite sex. Or let me just make it personal to Chris. I would ask Chris this question. When you experience sexual temptation, is it toward women or toward men? Or do you not experience sexual temptation? I'd probably call BS if he said, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we have to read all the bill. Chris, if you experience sexual temptation, is it towards men or women? If Chris said, well, it would be, the temptation would be toward men. And I would say, why? Why would it be toward men? Because you are fill in the blank. Whatever phrase you want to fill in that blank with. I know you don't like orientation language. You don't like same-sex, when I hear you describe same-sex attraction is sin, I hear you describing lust. So what word do you want to fill in the blank with? If I experience sexual temptation, it is toward the same sex because I am what? And I'm not trying to make an ontologically, strong pronouncement on a fundamental part of your humanity. I have similar concerns about some of the ontological assumptions surrounding this conversation. I do. And again, this is a conversation I would love to have with you because I think we would actually find probably a good deal of resonance here. I'm just talking about just the propensity toward a particular kind of temptation. We have to have some kind of language to use to describe that. I use the language of same-sex attraction or even same-sex orientation. And yet I do, even the concept of orientation has some roots in this kind of Freudian modern, and again, that's an interesting conversation to have, the kind of origin of our philosophy of sexual orientation. That's not, so I understand maybe some of the nervousness of using that kind of language. But again, we need some kind of phrase to describe what is the propensity that you might experience a sexual temptation in a certain direction, whether male, you towards men, others towards women who are not their wives. I honestly think a lot of the misunderstanding of where, at least me, I'm just going to speak for me, where I'm coming from, when I say same-sex attraction in of itself is not a morally culpable sin, while any kind of sexual lust is a morally culpable sin. It's an internal desire you need to repent from. I call it lust. You call it lust too. I'm distinguishing between same-sex attraction and same-sex lust, or even opposite-sex attraction and opposite-sex lust. The fact that I'm attracted to females doesn't mean I'm lusting after 4 billion people on the planet. In the same way, friends of mine that I know, when they say they're same-sex attracted, that doesn't mean they're just walking around actively desiring to have sex with another man or, female if they're same-sex attracted and a female.